Hi. So just recently, I was sent a little email by a journalist asking for some comments about sugar. And I'm not going to go into all the questions that she asked, but I love getting these kind of emails because I always have so much to say. But one of the questions that she asked was, why is it so hard to change your relationship with sugar? What is going on there? And I just thought that that would be quite useful, just that one question for me to cover that here. And I say cover because I'm probably only going to scratch the sides of it. But here goes. The real issue with sugar, now, hang on, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this in one. Let me just back up a second. What do I mean when I say sugar? Now, of course, I mean the white stuff, the stuff that you might be adding into your teas or coffees, sprinkling on your Weetabix, adding into cakes, that kind of thing. I also mean all of the sweet treats, chocolates, candies, biscuits, bars, that kind of thing. But I also mean all the convenience foods, which have all got hidden sugars. It is estimated that if we were to go to the middle aisles of a modern supermarket, so ignoring the fresh produce, if you went to the middle aisles of the supermarket and you were to remove all of the products with added sugar in, there would only be about 20% of those products that remained. I mean, that is absolutely shocking. So sugar will turn up in places that you'll probably expect. So sugar is in breakfast cereal, sugar is in bread, sugar is in crackers and cakes and stuff like that. But sugar is also in sausages, coleslaw, salad dressings, baked beans, tin soups, ready meals, low calorie, squashes and stuff like that. Sugar and sugar alternatives turn up in so many unexpected places. I mean, my personal bugbear is sugar in a sausage. That's just wrong on every level. Yet you go into the supermarket next time, go and have a wee peek over at a very popular brand of sausages and have a look and see the sugar. They're using it as a preservative. However, here's the problem with sugar, whether it's what you're sprinkling in your tea, the cakes that you're electing to eat, or those hidden sugars, they change your brain chemistry. And this is why it is so difficult to change your relationship with sugar. So when you eat sugar, it actually, before you've even swallowed the sugar, no matter what form it's in, whether you're on a ready meal, whether you're having vinaigrette over your salad, whether you're eating some bread, or whether you're chomping on a Mars bar, before you swallowed, your taste buds send messages to your brain, to the reward center in your brain, to signal sugar's on its way. And for a moment, you literally get this massive release of opioids, pain relievers, endorphins, feel-good hormones. In that moment, that sugar on your tongue makes you feel good. But the more and more that we are consuming sugar, not just the sugar we're electing to eat, but all these hidden sugars, that's having exactly the same impact on the brain. And we then find that that changes the neural pathways in the brain, meaning that when you don't have sugar, your body and your brain misses that reward of the sugar. So you're much more likely to feel low, flat, and feel more pain than when you have your sugar. So that's the first part of why sugar is so hard, because it changes your brain chemistry. Now, if we add to that changed brain chemistry that you grew up in a household where food, in particular sugar, sweet foods, were used as a reward or a soothing mechanism. So if you fell off your bicycle and you got a plaster and a lollipop, if you passed your cycling proficiency and you got chippy tea, if you didn't do well in your exams and there was a cake, a consolation cake to eat, then you probably have a behavioral connection between how you feel, whether you are rewarding yourself or whether you are consoling yourself with the sweet stuff, regardless of its form. When those two things collide, so you have altered brain chemistry from a high sugar intake, and you have a learned response to console or reward yourself with sugar, those two things make it really, really difficult to stop eating sugar, because it's not in your conscious control. Of course, you can start and you can say, I'm not having any sugar. And for a little while, your body and your brain will react to that. But unfortunately, that deeply entrenched neurotransmitter pathway in your brain and that deeply entrenched habit of reward console with sugar, that has decades and decades of running on a loop. So you'll go a week or two, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months even, of being able to be strong and resilient and resistant. And then something happens and you just are right back to square one again. We need to change our relationships with all sugars. We need to change our brain chemistry. We need to understand our habitual patterns. And that is how we long-term change our relationships with sugar. Now, you know what I'm going to say, because we happen to run a sugar detox retreat, which isn't just a residential retreat, because let me be really honest with you. Anyone that tells you they can change your sugar thing in just a week, they are lying to you. It cannot be done. Those neural pathways cannot be altered in just 1 week. So our sugar detox is a 6-week program. A week before you come on retreat, the week of the residential retreat, and then for 4 weeks after that, you get help, support, resources, including group Zoom calls, where we're literally supporting people when they go back to the real world and those neural pathways trip up and those habits come back and feel stronger. We are there to support, to start, keeping that change going. So that's what we're all about here at the Body Retreat. But I'll let you know when that article comes out, because I think it's going to be a good read.